So we have a new standard being set within the racing simulator by Xbox. Matt Booty, the guy that's running Xbox Game Studios, is actually talking about Forza Motorsport and also a brand new RPG being made by In Exile. All of these things are being talked about, and I want to get into exactly what he was saying in the interview and get into how Xbox is changing the gaming industry, but also setting the bar when it comes to graphics and quality of games. Let's get into everything. Alright, so you know the drill. If you like the content, hit that subscribe button and that like button. And if you want to be notified on future videos, hit that small little bell icon. And if you want to go that extra mile to support the channel, hit that join button. All the support is greatly appreciated. Alright, so we know who Matt Booty is. I just made a video about him in his interview where he talked about Fable and a bunch of other games in there. But in that same interview, since it was so long, he talked about pretty much every single studio that Xbox has to offer. And one of the big ones he mentioned was Turn 10, the people behind Forza Motorsport. And he talks about them kind of rebooting the franchise and bringing it into new heights. And I just want to get into exactly what he had to say in the interview and also get into some of the details of what we should expect from this game. Here's what's said in the article. Forza Motorsport will reset the high bar for racing sims, head of Xbox Game Studios says. Head of Xbox Game Studios Matt Booty sang high praises for Forza Motorsport, the upcoming 8th entry in the Forza Motorsport series, during an episode of Xbox's official podcast. We just did a really comprehensive review of Forza Motorsport, Booty said. It's amazing. It's going to, again, reset the high bar for what simulation and competitive racing games can be. Those are quite the complimentary words for Turn 10's upcoming game. Booty, who worked on racing games in the past, also offered insight into how making racing sims has changed and how it hasn't. He pointed out that yes, there are now science fiction-like technologies like ray tracing available, but certain things haven't shifted as much. A lot of the process about how to track is laid out, how teams work on different environments, the track surface, and the cars. A lot of that is still the same, Booty said. Forza Motorsport is set to release sometime in spring 2023 and will be coming to Xbox Game Pass at launch for both PC and Xbox. So far, Turn 10 has emphasized how punched up Forza Motorsport's graphics and physics are. The studio said it spent a lot of time improving their collision models, leading to smoother, even more realistic drives. Alright, so we have to take a second to just really comprehend what Turn 10 has done. I mean, let's be honest here. Turn 10 is probably the standard of what racing games are. It used to be Gran Turismo, and that was years and years ago. But for several years and all of last generation, Forza and Turn 10 have kind of set the standard of what we're talking about. And I'm not even bringing up Playground Games, who makes Forza Horizon. We all know that's a great open world game, but it's a little bit more arcadey, and to me, I like that game a little better. But Forza Motorsport is for the hardcore. It's for the people that want to do competitive racing, simulation racing, and track racing. Not to mention setting the standards of what physics, collision course, and all these other stuff that people love within cars and racing cars hardcore do. And I'm not the biggest Forza Motorsport fan, I will admit. I'm not running and racing to buy that game crazily. I'm just looking forward to seeing the standard that's going to be set with their graphics, their fidelity. Not to mention, I feel like Turn 10 is going to be one of the first studios, if not the first studio, to really push what the Xbox Series X can do. Not to mention, push what PCs can do, because I'm going to play it on both. I am a PC gamer, I am a console gamer, and I love checking on what both of them could do. I did that with Forza Horizon 5. I played it on the Series X and I played it on the PC, and I wanted to see the differences. And let me tell you, Turn 10's engine and the engine that they built that Forza Horizon actually does use really does set the bar up for what racing games can be, especially open world racing games, and I'm just going to be shocked at what they can do with the features with ray tracing and all that that's going to be set into this track simulation that is Forza Horizon. And what Matt Booty is saying is true, and it's everything that everybody knows, that Turn 10 is going to set the standard. They've had a massive amount of time. I'm talking about, what is it now, 5 to 6 years to make this new Forza. And it's a reboot. It's not Forza Motorsport 8. It's not Forza Motorsport 10. This is Forza Motorsport. They're going to rebrand this. They're going to bring it out with all new features, and they're going to set the standard of what their engine can do. They're going to be adding new features to their engine, and it's going to be the engine that really does push the Series X. But most of all, this is the same engine that Fable is using. That's right, this is the same engine that Playground Games has been using for several years. People don't know this, but Turn 10 kind of sets the standard of what racing games are within their own engine. And in that engine and all those assets, they give it to Playground Games where they can make Forza Horizon. So the real wizards is Turn 10. They're the ones that are optimizing this engine, they're the ones that are making this proprietary, and they're the ones that are pushing this engine to its max. And then they give it over to Playground Games, who are able to put that in Forza Horizon, and now they're able to put it into Fable. So I do want to see what the environments look like, I do want to see what everything looks like, and let me tell you, I think Fable is going to look insane when that comes out because of the work that Turn 10 is currently doing and setting that bar high of what engines and what racing games, especially racing simulators, could do. Let's hope it comes out next spring, let's hope it comes out in 2023, because man oh man, what we saw at E3 was insane, and I can't wait to see what Turn 10 has in store for us, because I really think what Matt Booty is talking about is true, that they are going to set the bar high, and at this point, we kind of expect that from Turn 10. But now let's shift over to another smaller studio that expanded once they joined Xbox, which is inXile Entertainment. You know, the people behind Wasteland 3, some of the best RPG developers out there in the world, and I have to say, they probably have one of the best leaders on their team with Brian Fargo, and that's something that Matt Booty talks about right here and how he's excited for their game. The head of Xbox Game Studios is most excited about the new first-party RPG in development at inXile Entertainment. According to Matt Booty, Xbox Game Studios have an interesting slate of games in the pipeline, some of which are still in early concept. He particularly mentioned inXile Entertainment's project as something really interesting that he's looking forward to sharing more on in the future. Matt further stated that the studio has something really cool coming together. He was recently at the inXile Entertainment's office alongside with head of Xbox Phil Spencer to get a first-hand look at what the studio has been working on. Spencer also had the opportunity to play the current build, so it sounds like the game has been in development for some time and is coming along nicely. Matt also added that the unannounced game features some cool mechanics. Previously, it was also revealed via a job listing that the ambitious AAA first-person RPG inXile is currently working on is being developed in Unreal Engine 5. So, this is everything that we wanted to talk about, because inXile is one of those studios that Xbox has bought and they actually released a game, and they joined the Xbox Game Studios. They're not part of Bethesda, they're not part of Activision Blizzard. This is a studio that's already a part of Xbox. They've released a game, they've released DLC for that game, and they're also going to be dropping a brand new RPG, something that they've been wanting to work on for years. This is something that Brian Fargo has mentioned before multiple times. He has said that inXile has always had to go GoFundMe, they always had to worry about keeping the lights on, and that finally they can hire motion capture. They can hire a bunch of high quality things because Microsoft is flooding them with money. That is the whole point of this. inXile is very talented. I hope they can transition from making smaller games, which still had a lot in them that were kind of on that cusp between AA and AAA, to going to full-fledged AAA games, because this is a first-person shooter, this is an RPG, and a lot of the mechanics that have been leaked have been insane. I'm talking about this has seemed to be like a cyberpunk type of game, first-person shooter, RPG, big world, big story, and that's exactly what inXile does. They make original stories, they make original content, and it's something that I feel that they're going to be shining through when it comes out in a couple of years. Do I think we're going to see this game anytime soon? No, I don't think so. They just dropped Wasteland 3, I think in 2019, 2020, so they have a few years before we're going to see anything from them. But overall, I'm glad that they're expanding, I'm glad that Xbox is flooding them with money, and most of all, I'm glad that they have a playable version of the game, which is indicated there by Phil Spencer saying that he's played the game, and Matt Booty was there checking the game out, and they're excited to show the mechanics that they have in store. Don't get me wrong, I think this is going to be one of their best games. It's probably going to be one of their biggest games, but I still think they need more time with it. I think they need to get that transfer going from AA to AAA, and I think they need to kind of wrap that around and bring it home, because so far, every single studio within Xbox that has gone from smaller studio, about 60 to 80 people, to about 120 to 150 to make a AAA game, have struggled. but I trust the leadership there. I trust in Exile, just like I trust Obsidian Entertainment. They've made big games before, they just need a little bit more time to kind of bring that in-house and make it first party only and not branch out and contract other studios. Let's hope that happens. Let's hope Matt Booty has them going in order, and let's hope they get the funding they need, because I'm excited to see all these games. But let me know what you think about all this. Are you excited to see all of these games come together? Are you excited to see Forza Motorsport and what the standard is going to be within racing games? Or are you excited for an Exile's big RPG? Because let's be real, Xbox seems to be working on RPGs like crazy. We got Fable and Exile, Obsidian Entertainment with Avowed. There's so many games coming out within Xbox, including Bethesda, that Xbox is starting to be the home of where RPGs are going to be living. So let me know down below what you think. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button to support us out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zocker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamer tag is Zocker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. So right now, I've been playing a bunch of games. I just beat Midnight Fight Express on Game Pass. I gotta say, that game was awesome. I beat it within like, I think 2 days. There's about 40 something levels in there. You just go around taking people out, fighting all these mobsters, fighting all these different type of characters, and I have to say, it's a lot of fun. It's kind of like the Arkham Combat, but in AA form, and you just take a bunch of weapons, you shoot people. It's pretty crazy. I had a lot of fun with it. And I gotta say, the developer behind that has a lot of promise. I mean, a lot of those smaller games were just fun, but they played very well. That's the whole point. A lot of AAA games play well and they look well, but most AA games or smaller indie games don't look that good, and then their gameplay needs to stand out. And that's what Midnight Fight Express did. I've also beaten Spider-Man, which I'm having a lot of fun with, and I took that out. Plus, I'm jumping into Days Gone, and I have to say, that game is a lot of fun. I know, I was bagging on it for 3 years, but playing it on PC with mouse and keyboard just makes it that much better. It's not dropping to 12 frames per second like it does on the PlayStation, so I'm having a great time with that on my PC, and I have to say, it runs smoothly. Plus, of course, I've been playing Rocket League and Multiverses and a bunch of other games, so, you know, I've just been having fun playing games. So let me know what you're playing. Are you playing something on your PC? Are you playing something on your Xbox? Or are you playing something on your PlayStation 5? Let me know down below, because that's what we're here for. It's to talk games. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.